Hello, I'm Dr. Josh Samuels. I'm a professor at ETSU and a curator here at the Great Fossil Site where we are today. Behind me you can see some people working on an excavation. The excavations here commonly find things like tapirs, rhinos, what they're digging up today, and also mastodons. While those animals are being excavated, we also find lots of other kinds of things. One of the recent discoveries I want to tell you about is a new Wolverine. And the find of a Wolverine here in Tennessee is a very surprising thing. Wolverines today only live in places where it tends to be very cold. One of the most common animals we have here at the Great Fossil Site is actually alligators. And alligators, unlike Wolverines, only live in places where it's warm. And alligators really don't live in places where we ever have freezing conditions. So finding those two animals together is rather surprising and really a unique thing. So if you'll follow me today, we're going to go into the lab and I'll tell you more about these new discoveries. Here we are in the lab at the Great Fossil Site, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the new Wolverine species. In front of me, we have two of the teeth of the new species, and this is actually the skull of a modern Wolverine. The two teeth we have represented are actually the second and the fourth premolars. And when you take a look, they are very similar to living species. The anatomy is actually similar enough that we can say this animal probably had a very similar lifestyle to Wolverines today. Our new Wolverine is actually represented by several different elements. We have a fragment of the skull, the maxilla, and we have two teeth, the upper second premolar and this, the upper fourth premolar. These teeth are very similar to those of a living Wolverine, which you can see here. They're similar in size, and they're also similar in morphology, suggesting this animal lived a very similar lifestyle. But what's interesting is that this Wolverine lived in an environment very different from any Wolverine today. The environment at the Great Fossil Site was much warmer and wetter than what we have now, and it included animals like alligators that really only live in places that don't freeze. That strongly contrasts with what we have in Wolverines, which tend to inhabit very cold places. And that suggests that Wolverines and their adaptation to cold habitats is something that showed up during the Ice Age. Another interesting fact we can see about this tooth is that it actually has a large crack running through that. And it reflects the fact that this tooth was actually collected as two different pieces. Part of it was collected during excavations, and the other part turned up during screen washing a decade later. Well, you can see here we also have several other parts of the organism, and there's that upper second premolar and the skull fragment. So that's our new Wolverine here at the Great Fossil Site. Thank you for watching, and if you're interested in learning more, please check out the link to the journal article shown below.